I guess I owe a little bit of an explanation. For those who don't know, because it's the European server, Bomber being Korean probably has never really played games here other than practice matches, so I imagine he was placed at Diamond after a warming up type thing, but he's obviously not actually a Diamond player. And if anyone hasn't heard of Bomber at this point, you have not watched enough StarCraft 2. Regardless though, guys, welcome back to DreamHack Open 2014. This is Valencia. I'm Rifkin, joined tonight by Fenner, and in this final best of 3 in the round of 16, spawning in the bottom central portion of merry-go-round, coming from Europe in the Gem House, from the clan Do You Know, it's the Red Protoss MC.
And in the top right of the map, what a guy, one of my favorite Terran players. It is Bomber, sponsored by Red Bull.
And you know what the best part about this particular match right now is, Fenner?
What about it?
You're in it with me, brother. Not watching through Skype.
Oh, really? So
actually,
nice.
Tempo and I are working on something. I want to read out these these 2 lines here. I'm not even going to try and rap it. I'm just going to read it because I'm white. But first off, we got Bomber infused with Red Bull. About to be Spirit Bomber. His power level is so full.
I love Tempo, man.
Bomber, though, okay, honestly, guys, his TVP is pretty scary. There's a handful of Terran players out there who you can really identify with. Bomber, Hart, Joxy all come to mind when it comes to dealing with TVP. Each of them also, interestingly enough, deals with it in different ways. Bomber, of course, one thing he's going to have to worry about, MC, he's a cheeky guy. You know, it's reflected in his personality. It's also reflected in his playstyle. We're not going to see cannons or anything like that in TVP, but we are most likely going to see things like oracles or earlier gateways or those chronodot zealots that catch you before the bunker's up type thing. It's a bit annoying to deal with, and even on a pro level, players like Bomber can sometimes fall susceptible to that. I mean, the oracle has been just the guiltiest early game party ender ever.
We were saying Bomber's got a unique style in TVP. What kind of stuff does he go for?
Okay, so here's... Before I explain that, let's explain this real quick, guys. In TVP, we're seeing a lot more all-ins out of Terran players right now, like just in general. And a big part of this is because the Colossus metagame for Protoss players is, I mean, it's the only thing to do. You don't really see the Storm Charge tech anymore. So once upon a time, you saw players reacting very differently. When I talk about Bomber specifically, we see the reactor coming down very fast at the barracks, but we don't see that second barracks being made. And this is where it starts getting different for a lot of different players. For example, a player like Joxy, rather than expanding, will take that second barracks much sooner, swap it around. Bomber ends up taking the barracks a little bit later. That's fine. He'll put a tech lab on this. He'll be able to get that stim up. You'll get that nice bulk of units, Marines and Marauders, and you just push for the overcharge. That's standard. That's nothing unique. What comes afterwards, though, is the question, well, okay, here we go. This is where we're going to start talking about Bombers and Marines. 3 barracks, of course, is going to be more than enough production to deal with anything that comes out, whether it's the Oracles, whether it's the Stalkers, and you know, you hear a lot about Bombers, Marines, guys. In StarCraft 2, for those who don't know, a Stalker innately outranges Marines. Bomber makes it look like they don't.
Oh, Reaper does find the probe there, so no sneaky stuff going to be coming up. But this kind of resembles Bomber in TVZ as well. Bomber just sometimes randomly goes for massive Marine pushes in the early game, and that looks like what he likes in TVP as well. He even says that he just likes to go to weird builds just for the fact that it's weird, because it's going to confuse the opponent. They're not going to expect it. So yeah, looks like that's what we've got here from Bomber.
I love that, by the way, that he can make the Marines work so well. I really want to stress, guys. Oh, MC, actually, you didn't blink. Hang on, where's this coming down? No, this might actually be DT's where it's hit. I mean, right now he definitely doesn't want this to be scouted. Chrono's coming down the Nexus instead of...
I think this is going to be Blink Rifkin. The gas is just going to line up perfectly for Blink.
Well, the reason I'm questioning Blink is because he's putting a lot of Chronos on the Nexus. But, okay, there we go. Yeah, it's going to be Blink. So, you know, Merry-Go-Round is one of the one map where this still works pretty well. The reason Blink kind of fell out of favor, guys, is they started designing the maps a lot differently. The mains and the naturals became connected very differently. But the same basic principles apply, where you draw your Terran army here to the natural, you play a lot of pressure with the Stalkers over here, everyone comes down the ramp, you throw a Time Warp on the ramp, then Blink up to the main. You know, it's kind of like the 1-2 punch. Everyone sees it coming, but it's not easy to deal with. Bomber, with this one Reaper, has to scout this. Not should or might, but has to scout this, because without that...
he sneaks past the Stalker, trying to chase it down there. Can he block with the probes? No, he's not. Oh, there's the 2 Stalkers, and it gets denied.
But you know what? This already reveals a lot. There's no reason for there to be 4 stalkers on the map like this unless you're going to be tying Blink into it. Because you don't use stalkers to bust bunkers, you use sentries to bust bunkers, right? And this may have been that giveaway. If we see Bomber throw a bunker on the high ground, you absolutely know for certain he's ready for this.
Right.
I like this too.
Yeah, what's his reaction? He needs a bunker on the high ground to cover his production. He needs a bunker at the front.
Right, but hang on.
He needs to position his units really well as well.
This is really important, though. You notice that he's building the bunker deep. If you build it further away, the mothership core just provides the vision it needs. You snipe it from afar, no issue whatsoever. But if they're up on the high ground, then they've really got to come to Bomber. Bomber's actually...
Mothership core.
Bomber's pushing out
this got a huge need. Mothership core. Bomber finds it. He's moving forward. Time warp goes down.
This almost works as well. Just baiting the time warp out here instead of his natural ramp. Marauder's pushing forward. Bomber's going to catch the stalkers before they get to that critical mass. He's got concussive shells. He's going to deal with this.
Stim's ready as well. There's 3 racks open up on Bomber, just working out perfectly against what MC's doing. Now he's pushed back to his own base.
On one hand, you've got like players like He's
chasing down the mothership core, Rifkin.
Yeah, he gets it with Stim. Gets it with Stim. Stim's done for this timing. Bomber now with no photon overcharge. Could have struggled to defend this. Yes, he's got Blink, and yes, he should be able to hold this off, but this was supposed to be MC on the offensive, not the defensive.
More units coming in for Bomber here. Can he finish the game already, making MC look silly here, moving in against all of these stalkers? So much DPS, probes being pulled, more Marines coming in from the back. Everything is going down. No Nexus cannon. The stalkers are going down. Bomber. Oh, it might just be able to hold every probe.
He really needs to warp in a couple zealots, I think, here too. I mean, that would have been a much easier hold if it wasn't just pure stalkers, but MC does hold. That's the key thing. 16 workers died though, guys. In a situation where Bomber was meant to be putting down a ton of bunkers, and Bomber was meant to be getting scared of a Blink all in, he manages to kill 16 workers. He manages to snipe that mothership core, and now MC's coming across the map with an attack. Dark Shrine, Day 9 style coming down behind this as well. I mean, there's no turrets yet, but there's an engineering bay. There's gonna be scans. Look at this. Paranoia turret comes down. Love this.
Yeah, he's gonna fake pressure the front with these stalkers to try and distract him a bit, but the turret's already been started. Can he jump into the main base?
Even if he does, he doesn't have enough. I mean,
this is just a distraction play from MC. He wants to try and get the DTs up whilst distracting with these, but Bomber's ready for it. He's got that turret up. It's not going to be able to sneak into the main base. Well, and the unit count for MC is tiny.
He looks like he might be going for a warp prism with this, though, for the DTs rather than locking them in. I mean, as a Terran player, you've got scans, right? That's cool, whatever. But, I mean, you don't want to be burning scans in the first place versus DTs. Secondly, sometimes you get caught just after muling, and it's the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah. So, yeah, the prism is coming up along with the DTs. So he's going to be trying to get those into the main base.
Yo, Fenner.
Then, yeah?
I gotta quote someone from chat here real quick. Nadavu says, the counter to Blink all-ins. Bomber!
Yeah, a lot of I mean, he completely destroyed it. He made MC look silly.
Yeah, what's kind of cool here is the follow-up. We do have the reactor coming down in the factory. We might just see some Widow Mines end up coming out of this as the follow-up. He could just be using this to build more barracks and transfer that reactor later. But I think we're going to see some Widow Mines, which would be really cool.
Prism.
Oh my god, does he scout this? He sees it for a second, but he says screw it. Yeah, he's just going to rally in the main and use his reinforcements to hold whatever comes out of this. Okay. And it is going to be a DT. There is no scan. Oh, there's one scan available right now.
One scan available. Oh, surround with the SCVs. Takes down both DTs with no trouble.
Yeah, you guys have to understand, MC is like one of the best Protoss players in the world.
Yeah.
For Bomber to make him look like this is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is crazy. Oh, nice force fields from MC there. That's exactly what he needs. Nexus cannon has gone down as well.
Those force fields play against them. As we see, the medevac just picks up.
Yeah.
Zealots can no longer connect because they're stuck by the force field. Probes choked out by the force field. These are working really against MC. He's going to lose the Nexus.
Yeah, the Nexus goes down. So even though he lost his whole army, DT in the main base just attacking a depot because he's concentrating on that engagement. But now, as long as Bomber holds, as long as he holds, he's got this game in the bag.
You know what I love, by the way? That was like the Zerg caster in you through and through. You see force fields, and it's like, oh no! But for Terran players, it's like, sup, medevac.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, oh my god, they just cut the whole army in half, it's over.
Nope. Yeah, it's in those scenarios, I mean, it's tricky to call. I mean, it was honestly a good idea to go for the force fields.
Yeah.
Most players don't do that hot pickup move, but as we saw, MC just... It's crazy just how easy this is looking for Bomber, guys.
Yeah. And MC's not even going for the counter push, surprisingly. I mean, he wouldn't be able to win with the counter push, but he kind of needed to at the same time, so it's an awkward situation there. He's just going to play the defensive game and try and build up his AoE count.
I liked his attempt at harass. You know, he picked off one of the supply, or tried to pick off a supply depot, but I guess got repaired. I would have loved to see him pick off a couple of CVs, because for Bomber, guys, keep in mind, that was a really intense micro situation. You know, actually using the medevac, picking up the units. For those who don't know, AI when you're picking up units is not as easy as pros make it look. The medevacs sometimes have the worst micro, and the units trying to be picked up are sometimes just the worst. They don't want help, you know what I mean? But Bomber made that look easy with a lot of control. Now, we do have those Widow Mines I was talking about before. I was getting a little bit geeked out about this because Widow Mines are such a counter to Zealots. And look what MC has. Primarily Zealots. He knows Stalkers are not going to cut it. And quite frankly, Bomber is ready for that. He's ready for him.
Alright, he's
coming up the natural.
Yes, gun goes down.
Photon overcharges. Yeah. There's only the one observer, though, Fenner. If this gets sniped off, if he scans...
But he saw them get burrowed, so... He's gonna know that there, and there we go, Bomber coming in for the engagement.
Those are actually some pretty good force fields.
Yeah, this looks really good for MC, even though he doesn't have the thermal lance there. Still doing really well in this engagement, and...
I mean, the resources lost is fairly even, but it's really not the course of the game, because MC lost that expansion. Bomber takes a third. I mean, he is on point for this game, and the key thing, too, is the upgrades. MC should be really ahead on upgrades as a pro test player. You chrono them out, you get those double forges, you got so much armor that the Marines just tickle you, but no, in this instance, he's only just completed 1-1, and Bomber's nearing his level 2 weapon upgrades. In fact, wait, why is he going for vehicle weapons? I guess, oh, Vikings, duh, never mind, sorry.
Yep.
Forgot TVP for a sec.
Yeah, he has got a few Widow Mines in there as well, but yeah, as you said, even on the resources lost, Bomber has had the economy throughout this game, and MC is really going to struggle to pick up a third base, especially with the Vikings coming out now. He's going to be able to go straight into those Colossus if MC does try and get a third base. And the thing is, this map specifically as well, the third base is so wide open, Bomber's going to be able to get an amazing engagement if MC does decide to go for it.
Well, the observer's got a keen eye on everything going on here. He sees this minefield.
Moving out into it looks like MC actually wants to attack here.
You know, I don't disagree with the choice. This makes sense because he's predicting the Bomber's Viking count's going to be low. Bomber's been investing so much in these attacks. But that's not the case. Bomber got that second starport down. He's producing 4 Vikings at a time. He's got 5. He's about to have 9. This is, I mean, for MC, a little bit forced. You kind of pointed that out before. Like, he wanted to go for the attack before, but he didn't have the Colossus count for it. He's looking for an angle of attack. Loses the observer, loses his sight, a little bit scared, now in the dark. He's got to pull back. The army for Bomber at this point. Look at that army supply value, Fenner. I mean, I know protest units are meant to be stronger, and that's why they cost more, but 142 versus 92. Widow Mines aplenty. SCVs have been pulled. He called the boys. I didn't even catch that. Bomber is going to absolutely wreck this engagement. Coming in strong. Force fields actually work out pretty effectively this time. Stalker's going to keep the Vikings from dancing too far forward and diving, but he's in a corner. Baby's been put in a corner. Can he fight it out is going to be the big question. Force fields on the ramp could work out. Get some good force fields on that ramp as predicted. But the Vikings going to take out the Colossus. Without those Colossus, it's just Stalkers. And Marauders and Widow Mines have no problem dealing with Stalkers. GG's going to be called, and Bomber will take game number 1.